No, unfortunately, I haven't been able to track many of them down. I do have a couple of names. Perhaps you know of them, but and that information will be provided. I don't know if speaking directly to them would help, convincing them that whatever mission they are on is to be dropped. I understand that it is a matter of pride for the Claris. But I also come to you specifically because, well, because of your friend Uskund. He has some influence with the Freedom Council of Raimondi, and I would like to recruit them as well. This cause is theirs just as much as it is ours. Barba will not stop with the Tan once they have enough forces. I'm sure that they will move on to Raimondi. And while the Sriak perhaps are better equipped to deal with such things, they are scattered, less concentrated.
That would probably be easier than getting Claris.
Indeed. Well, as I said, I come to you because I cannot be seen going to other members of these societies. In fact, I cannot be seen mostly at all.
Why is that?
Well, when you run things such as I, you have a great many enemies. Ones who would, well, are not as honorable as you and I.
You keep speaking as like we are one person. But how do I know you're not my enemy if I don't know anything about you?
Because I believe you've already been working for me. Just through one of my peers. Natalia. You know of her?
Yes.
Indeed. Thought as much. And the great giant bearded one. What is his name? Rudolph. Yes. Yes, these individuals, well, they don't work for me. We work together.
I should have figured that every time I talk to one of them, I get nothing and they get everything. I don't like that so much.
Well, I am perhaps a bit more fair than they are. Tell me, what is it that you want?
I would just rather have a little more information. Who's and what's and where's. That's more my style. I'd like to know what I'm getting into before I get in it.
Well, I can certainly say what I can. Obviously, there are certain secrets that should remain hidden in the interest of, well, safety. Forbid that the Syndicate were to get their hands on you and you spill all of our information. But... Indeed. But I will tell you what I can. Myself and my peers run a, well, perhaps you would call it a sect of particularly talented individuals. Those enabled with MES, or psychic abilities. For many hundreds of years we have been persecuted as the cause for the destruction of the cosmos. But we understand that that was a psychic time that has passed. What I wish, simply, is to be a part of a new generation. Those that want peace and discovery, not power and, well, authority. Now, you know two of the names of my peers, Rudolph and Natalia. And perhaps you know one more. one who might achieve this level of perception. I've heard that your friend, Uskirnt, does great works. Natalia speaks highly of him, as does Rudolph. And I can tell you that, well, we don't have a connection with the Sriek. They are somewhat vehemently, well, let's just say they don't appreciate some of the things that we fight for. They're somewhat stuck in tradition, but you see your friend Oscar is a different breed. He seeks to break tradition, which is what I seek to do. So our goals are aligned.
All right, that's some information for sure. So moving forward from here, I'll get with Claris and see what I can't find about who's working with Kuchera. Would you like to meet with... I can't say Uskrint, so I'm just going to call him Oscar. We call him Oscar. You want to meet with Oscar?
Unfortunately, I cannot at this time. There's no appropriate way for us to arrange a meeting. You were simpler because you already were intended to be here. Would be untraceable, as it were. When you leave this place, they will assume you have hammered out contract details, and not anything of the sort of which we are talking now. Oscar were to come, well, that would be seen as more suspicious. Unfortunately, the Syndicate has eyes in places that would be unimaginable.
Got it. Spies.
In a manner of speaking.
All right, so I'll bring the information I have back to Oscar, and I'll see what we can do from there. What would be the best way of getting a hold / contacting you?
Very simply, General Miskovich here will be your contact. Anything you say or do should be related to the contract details. But if you arrange a meeting, and what is it you call your rifles?
Which one?
The ones in which you are developing for us, or at least have patented for us.
Ah, my laser rifles.
Yes, indeed. If you mention these by name, then I will know to be here.
Very well.
Well, is there anything else I can do before General Mikovic handles the paperwork?
Off the top of my head, I do not think so. I
Good.
mean, unless you got some extra money, our ship's kind of fucked up.
I think he smiles, and he says, yes, I understand that you still owe quite a bit of it as well.
Yeah, that's being all right, but it's hard to do anything when you can't fly it.
Well, then I have your word that you will help our cause.
Like I said, I'll do what I can.
That is enough for me. Here. And he busts out like a piece of paper and writes, it's like a docking address down, and he hands it to you and he says, take it to this docking address. Tell them General Mikovic sent you. They'll take care of the rest.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm like half flabbergasted, half all right. Like that was half a joke, unless he was being serious. So.
Right. Yeah, of course. So he says to you, he says, very well, I will take my departure now. And thank you, Fortune.
You're welcome. Stand up and shake his hand.
Yeah, and he shakes your hand with his big gauntleted hand, and then he leaves, and the door slides open and slides closed. And when he leaves, General Mikovic, you hear him. He's like, he lets out a big exhale as if he was holding his breath the whole time. And you can see like beads of sweat are like coming down his face that he's now like wiping off as he sits down in the chair, and you begin hammering out details of your contract.
Cool.
So
I take a really big swig of my bourbon.
Yeah, absolutely. So he gives you some stuff. He gives you a couple of names. And one of those names is Fox. It's a call sign for Claris mercenary that's working.
I'm organizing my notes. Hold on a second.
Mm-hmm. So, you ready?
Yeah.
Fox is a call sign. You know Fox. Maybe not know her, but you know of her. She's pretty high upper echelon. Claris mercenary. She is best known for her like subterfuge. That's what she specializes in. As an infiltrator. So tracking her down is particularly hard, but it's kind of one of those things like you don't track her down, she finds you when she knows you're looking for her, kind of thing.
Got it.
And the other name that you get is Golden. And Golden, I don't think you've ever heard of Golden before. But you can make a roll if you'd like to see if you maybe have picked up some chatter.
Sure.
It's going to be a culture spacer check.
With wisdom?
With intelligence in this. Nice. Cool. So yeah, you have heard of Golden. So Golden is most well known as a pilot. He is kind of an ace sharpshooter. And his name has probably come up not necessarily in person, or you haven't heard about him, but you've probably seen like if Claris completes like a robust mission, they usually put out like a news bulletin to all like Claris mercenaries to know like about these certain individuals, and you recall seeing his name attached to a mission that dove into deep space and returned with like rare minerals and stuff, and it was probably a mission for some rich lord that wanted it done. But Golden was actually the pilot and navigator who, got the spaceship through uncharted territory, which, as we know, is literally the most dangerous thing you can do in this game.
Cool.
So yeah, so you know that those two apparently are on payroll for the syndicate now. Cool. So I want to jump over to our other characters. So Gogo, let's talk to you for a moment. Last time we saw you, you had called and name dropped Commander Hartfield, right? And you were rebuked basically through some red tape, right? They were like, "No, that's not how this works." Like,
it was a hard pass.
Yeah, it was a hard pass on that. Maybe if you had someone else's name, or maybe if went through the proper channels for once, they would be able to help you. But yeah, in this case, Lai, right? Lai Ming, is that what her name is?
Zinnia.
Dr. Zinnia. So Dr. Zinnia is obviously so busy with all of the other injuries and like triaging at the hospital. She doesn't have time to like take a look at one patient. And certainly not under the order of, because she's Navy, right? And he's, she's Army and he's Navy. So like not even in the same chain of command. So what you're going to have to do is perhaps try and see what the proper channels are. And again, I made this last time, but I want to make sure the emotional trauma is there and appropriate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Normally, Boomer would just falsify some documents and he would be at the front of the list. But Boomer is not available.
No, but I am gonna try to use a trick that Boomer taught me.
Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, so what's your next step here to try and bypass the bureaucracy?
I would imagine that in the many of years that I had spent with Boomer, I had picked up a thing or two about using the darknet for certain things.
Sure, yeah, like finding contacts or that kind of stuff?
Or, obtaining personal emails, perhaps.
Oh, okay, I got you. Cool. So it sounds like you want to make some sort of computers check, perhaps, to see if you can hire or buy or find yourself.
Similarly to how the darknet works, is you make a post of a job offer with the info that you're looking for and see if anybody bites, you know?
Absolutely. Cool.
So that's my game plan, yeah. And I might seek assistance via either OHA and or Dr. Fisher, whomever is readily available.
I think both of them are readily available right now if you wanted their assistance. Whichever one you think you wanted assistance from.
Probably Dr. Fisher, only because he already knows that I'm looking for information or I've looked up information and I don't have to explain it the whole thing again to OHA,
Yeah. Also, she might be like, what do you want to do now?
She already knows. She's been poking around in your head since she came on the ship.
I think the only one she has significant effect on out of the crew is still Dr. Fisher, though.
It's true. She's failed a bunch of times on me and others, but that's all.
Cool. So we find Dr. Fisher. So Dr. Fisher, this is after you receive the message. So what is your immediate action when you know that representatives from this faction are on their way to meet with you?
I'm suddenly rummaging around in the cupboards to retrieve all the required items that I possess but need to collect.
So Gogo comes stomping in her usual manner, and your head's in a cupboard, and I would assume that she's like, "Hey, Dr. Fisher," and you jump and bang your head on. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah, you bang your head on a cupboard. Kind of you do the anime walk out and you're rubbing the back of your head, right?
Yes. Hi, Go-Go. What can I do for you? So I do the kind of lean on the sides to look natural, but it's not natural.
Yeah. The totally not natural lean. I like it.
Yeah.
You're a little jumpy today, Dr. Phil. You feeling all right? What you doing?
No,
and she kind of tries to lean past you to see what you were rummaging through.
No, I'm fine. It's just misplaced some stuff, and ribs are still cracked to shit. So
sure, yeah. Yeah, so she's lost interest 2 seconds ago. So I need, and she's holding a data pad. But you notice it's not her data pad? Because hers is bright pink, so you would know it was hers. But it's just a generic one, right? And so she's holding it out and she's like, I've been trying to access this thing. It's an old trick from Boomer, except there's this one part I just can't seem to get past. Do you think you could help me? And she holds it out, and clearly it's this very Linux looking browser and such that does look really sketchy if you were to just look at it. But she's totally casually, nonchalantly just could you just see how it says the code here? I can't read. I don't know what that means. Could you help me?
What are you trying to do, Go-Go?
No, I mean, don't. I just need help to get past this one part. The less you know, the better, probably. If you catch my drift.
Do you know what this is? Do you know what she's handing you, or do you want to make a check for it?
Yeah. Check.
Okay. Yeah, so I think this is actually a security check to like understand what you're doing. But it's with intelligence because you're trying to understand what it is.
It's still not great.
Oh,
Okay.
of course you get a 10. God damn it.
Yeah. So you look at it, and it's very clearly like a darknet, like jailbroken compad, right? Like untraceable jailbroken compad that she's trying to like make this post or acquire some help for something. Where would you have run into something like this before, Dr. Fisher?
This would have been on one of my previous missions.
Sure.
I had assigned.
Yeah. Yeah, probably like in university or whatever, right? You were contacted, and they probably walked you through the steps of what to do, and then you realize what you did like after the fact, and you're like, oh, like I probably just got someone assassinated, or something like that, right?
Yeah. I mean, I need that science funding, so what can you do?
Yeah. Right, Matt?
You do what you gotta.
Yep.
Sometimes you gotta sell your soul for the grant. Yeah, so you know exactly what this is, Dr. Fisher.
Go. Why are you trying to get me to access this?
I think Gogo kind of looks at you slightly differently. She goes, huh. She's
hey,
like,
I have a wild side like, too,
impressed.
you know.
Like she's impressed. She's like, well, you are more interesting than I thought, Dr. Fisher. Anyway, then you would know exactly what I'm trying to do. That pesky doctor is ignoring me. I need her email. If you could just help me. I've gotten to one point, but I just can't get past it. Could you help me?
I mean, she is a licensed doctor, so why can't we just go through the proper channels?
No. I need her personal email. And she like looks at you like, you know as well as I do. Doctors don't read their emails. Not their ones for work anyway.
True. Probably Outlook, and it just auto-deletes everything.
She has hundreds of thousands of emails unread in there. Come on.
Which, by the way, Outlook auto-delete is beautiful. Beautiful thing.
Side note.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not great at these things. Just telling you in advance.
I mean, probably better than I.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of like gives you this sad-eyed look over at her dad, who's like probably right there because we're in the lab.
The
right?
Like the inhaler's like. Right, it's just like breathing heavy, and obviously why she's doing this.
Yeah, I take the data pad and try to recall the rudimentary.
So you wanna assist him with this, Gogo?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't you roll a computers with intelligence check? I'm looking for a 10 or better.
I don't know if that's possible. We'll find out.
I believe in you. Holy shit.
You really don't know about this line of code.
Do you want to re-roll?
Yeah, probably.
This is just the assist.
Although I feel like if we get it, the second part might be more important.
Up to you. Oof. So you just get
you did double your rolls, so
yeah. You get the base computer's intelligence roll here, Dr. Fisher. You've already got the security roll, so you know what to do. It's just, or you know like how to do it. You just need to know what to do. Oh, computer's intelligence, and I want a 10 or higher. Do you want to re-roll?
Yes.
Yeah,
See how far I'm going for you.
It's for my dad.
Who is of no consequence to me except for you would kill him otherwise.
Oh, shit.
Dr. Fisher says in his head. Holy shit.
Damn it!
Yeah, so it's not like the fact that it's unachievable. It's just that you guys are out of practice at this sort of thing. And you probably sit there for quite some time. And Dr. Fisher, since you rolled a 5, I think you sit there long enough that your compad lights up. And it just says, "We're here."
Look, Go-Go, look, I obviously can't help you with this. It's been like 6 odd years since I tried to do any of that kind of stuff, but I've got to go meet a friend.
Wait, what? You're leaving? You can't leave. We have to finish this.
Look, any other day, and I would obviously help you, but I haven't seen this friend for years, and please just let me go. I'll be back.
Yeah, because your friend's more important than my dying dad. As you're like walking away from me.
Yeah, I've bundled up all the things I need and I'm out the door, running.
Next time I save you and your ass is lying on the... Oh, fuck it. She just like storms off.
Yeah. Oscar, did you get my message?
I did. He's fairly quick. I think he...
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you could teleport.
Yeah.
So
I think he's...
So Dr. Fisher...
It's all happening simultaneously.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Before Fisher.
Absolutely. Dr. Fisher, you come skidding into the cargo bay, and the ramp's descending, and you can see Oscar's, like, opening it up. Like, he's got the button hit, and it's like... Psh, right? And Oscar begins to, like, greet these individuals. Now, let me describe these individuals. If you've ever seen Buddhist monks, that's them. So there are 3 individuals. There's one standing in the middle who has, like, one of those big, like, giant bead necklaces around his neck. And very traditional, like, Buddhist monk robes. And there are 2 that are flanking him that appear to be, like, his subordinates, who are also dressed in Buddhist garb. And their hands are kind of, like, intertwined, so it just looks like, a big one giant sleeve across the front of them. And the leader kind of looks around, and he looks at you, and he says, "Greetings. Tell me, are you afflicted?" He's looking at Oscar.
Been called a lot of things. Don't believe I'm afflicted. May I ask who you are?
We are here to see Dr. Fisher.
He's expecting you.
That's about the time you come running in, Dr. Fisher.
Yeah. I mean, I can obviously speak Mandarin.
Mm-hmm. So do you launch into Mandarin?
Yeah, I say, yes, Oscar, there for me, and greetings, Your Holiness.
Yeah, and they both give all 3 of them give like a polite bow to you, and they repeat to you back in Mandarin. They say, "Is there somewhere we can speak?" This one says he is not afflicted, but it is possible still. Sometimes with their race, they have no choice.
Yes, please, come in.
Yeah, so the 3 of them ascend the ramp, and I assume, Oscar, you're just like standing there with your hand on like the open button, like, what in the fuck is happening right now?
He's doing like the you talk to dogs. They kind of cock their head to the side a little bit because they don't know what the... Yeah, he, like, as soon as the Mandarin started flying, I think he just kind of inadvertently did that and is just watching this unfold and trying to assess whether these people are gonna be a problem in the sense that he tends to deal with problems.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So as they come on board, and Dr. Fisher's like escorting them through the halls, and maybe you like raise the ramp back up or whatever. Oha probably comes in and she's probably like got a compound and she's reading something, and she kind of like looks at them as they leave and then like looks at you, Oscar, and she says, "Who is that?"
He just does like the 2-hand shrug, kind of like palms up.
Were they
friends of Fisher's?
She like does the head poking out down the hallway to watch Dr. Fisher in the monk's retreating form, and then she pulls it back like real quickly, and she like looks at you, Oscar, and she says, "I think they're separatists."
Separate from whom?
Their religion.
Sorry, that was just a... Yeah.
Thank you, Will.
You should
Oscar doesn't keep up on religious affairs so much around the
So do you even want to roll to see if you know what she's talking about?
No, I'm gonna say Oscar has no interest. It doesn't impact him, so he wouldn't know at this particular moment.
Yeah, and she probably like you get like the danger smell coming from her, right? The pheromone. She lets out like the danger smell, and she says, "We should probably make ourselves scarce. Is there a place we could pull up? Perhaps one that is defensible, just in case."
I sensed no danger.
Yes, well,
should I have?
They happen to be very good at masking their presence and also emotions.
I believe we assess danger different ways, but who am I to argue?
Just... What did they say when they came aboard?
Never took any Mandarin lessons.
Figured as much. Okay.
Concerning Fisher felt the need to switch to it immediately since they speak common.
Fisher speaks Mandarin.
Learn something every day, don't you? I had no idea.
This would not be something that I would want to learn although perhaps it has saved our lives in this moment. Or at least saved our sense of being.
We should talk.
Yes, I agree. Somewhere in a secure location. The cockpit?
He kind of like does the like quarter bow, lead the way.
Yeah.
Gesture like after you.
Yeah, and she begins walking quickly towards the cockpit. So Dr. Fisher, you bring them into your room?
Yes.
Scandalous.
What does this is embarrassing, but I don't think you've ever described what your room even looks like, Dr. Fisher, because you're just always in the med bay.
I thought it was the med bay, and I'm not even saying that to be funny. Did we ever give Fisher a room?
I think I have one for formality, but because I'm always in the med bay,
like for tax purposes.
Yeah.
For residential mail purposes. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, it's just almost completely bare.
It's a P.O. box with a bed in it. I got it.
Yeah.
Isn't there actually a room right off the med bay though?
Yeah, there is. There are a couple. You guys have technically 7 rooms. There's the duty room, which is like the one that person that's on duty sleeps in, and then there's 6 rooms for passengers.
Okay, yeah, because I thought there was almost literally like a room that was attached to the med bay.
That's Go-Go's. And then the other one was Boomer's. So maybe you took Boomer's room over, I don't know. Which is actually larger. It's like the XO's room. But so because your room is so Spartan, as you escort the monks in there, the one in in the head, he looks around and he nods and he says, You live well, Doctor. It is good you have become accustomed to our practices. Would offer, perhaps you could reconsider joining us. We would love to teach you in the ways.
Yeah, I'm just very thankful I didn't take them into the med bay at this time. Thank you once again, Your Eminence, for your most generous of offers, but
Please, I am Abbot Liang. I do not need such expensive titles.
very well, Abbot Liang. As I believe I told your order when I first joined, I still have my goal which I wish to achieve, and only then would I possibly consider anything else.
It is good to have goals, but remember, to release of all worldly items is of the utmost. Ambition can lead to, well, can lead to ill passions.
I take your teachings to heart, Liang.
Very well. And you have the items, the ones that we required.
Of course, as I start bringing them out and placing them on the tables.
Ah, yes, good. Good. We will have some of our technicians look at these. I, for one, do not particularly involve myself with technology unless it is of necessity. And he kind of he pulls out a compad and kind of waves it. And he slips it back into his robes and he says, and there is information here we can use of the testing.
Of course, yeah. You've always been kind to me, and I always try to show my sincerest approach for you.
I understand that your primary mission is, or was, to rescue some individuals. It is one of noble pursuit. Tell me, was it successful?
It was indeed. Through much tribulation, we did manage to retrieve the individuals, and they have survived, and we are now dealing with safe separation from our group.
It is through trials that we grow. I am glad to see you have grown, Doctor.
Thank you very much, Liang. As he's still very much bandaged up.
Yeah, absolutely. And he kind of you see him kind of look around the room again, and he says, well, do not wish to take much more of your time, but it was important that we receive this in person. Some of this information is too sacred to allow breach of security.
Of course, Liang. I kept it in my most secure holdings, waiting to pass it off to you.
Good. Your friend, Sriek, your crew member.
Yes.
Is he afflicted? Now, you know what they're talking about.
Fisher certainly does, but I may have need rejugging. Ah.
That's how you got involved with them in the first place.
Yes, of course. Oh, how do I answer this?
Perhaps not truthfully.
Well,
I am currently monitoring the Shrek's condition, and I believe it's valuable to both our research efforts. And he's still stable and does not pose any harm.
That is good, but take care in such dangerous company. You would be a valuable asset to lose, Doctor.
I thank you for your generous words, Leanne.
And should you run into any trouble, all you would need to do is contact us. We can certainly deal with any issues that arise.
I'm most humbled by your offers. I thank you once again for visiting me personally. It's a great honor.
Now, my colleague has let me know that you also were in, well, let us say, close proximity to another afflicted individual, the first of her kind, in fact.
Mushroom Jesus.
I never met Mushroom Jesus, though.
yeah, was that
I joined right after you met.
Yeah, no.
Mushroom
Yeah, he's asking you that question though.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Because
you. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You remember what happened now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes. The members of my crew did embark on that mission, and I was quite jealous I did not get to join them that particular time. But yes, their work was most valuable.
Beware of jealousy, Doctor. It can lead us into fortunate forests with friends who wished they weren't.
Once again, only words of wisdom escape your mouth, but man.
You honor me, Doctor. Thank you. We will depart now. We will not stay on your doorstep any longer. But you may always be in touch. And
As well as you.
may you always find clean water. And may the path guide you.
May the path guide you.
Yeah, and it's that awkward too. Like, he understands that you're just repeating what he said because you're not technically a part of their order, and he bows very low, and they go to depart. Do you escort them out?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, so you escort them out, and probably right as you do, Fortune.
Yep.
You're returning to the ship as Dr. Fisher descends with these three very clearly Buddhist monks. And, you know, they give bows and they walk away kind of like as you're approaching the ship. What is Dr. Fisher's outward state at this moment?
You can see he's obviously been sweating, but he does look a bit more relaxed than you may think of him being in a panic state. So yes, his state has been, you can tell he's been very nervous, but he's started to calm down a bit.
So, Fortune, you approach.
Right now, Fortune at this point is probably really spaced out. He's not really thinking about where he is, more about what's going on elsewhere and what he's got to be doing.
Yeah.
So he probably just walks onto the ship and just like a very nonchalant, "Hey, how you doing?" Like, "What's up, fellas?" And then, "Oh, hey, doctor," and then just keep walking. Like I don't even register that people are there. Really, I'm just walking in, and I've got So that's what Fortune's doing.
So, Go-Go, what would be your next step after Dr. Fisher leaves? Would you, like, try and brute force it? Because that's what Go-Go does sometimes.
I think she would spend at least another 2 hours just freaking, like, every guess and check she can think of.
Yeah, sure.
Most likely to no avail, obviously.
Well, you rolled to assist, not to actually do it. So if you wanted to, at the end of your 2 hours would have been a significant enough change to roll a computer's check. Try to get a 10 or higher.
You know, I think maybe Oha and I should talk for like 13 minutes. And then...
Hold on, I'm getting there.
Perhaps.
Is that
Fortune
something?
Also has important information for Oscar, so maybe that could happen as well.
I was just
like
joking
now.
about re-rolls. That's all it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
This is
Okay,
going to be a
that's fair.
really sad roll.
Maybe it won't be.
Well, it already is.
Yeah, it's a 6. So, yeah, unfortunately, the 2 hours just gets you more frustrated, Go-Go. Throughout the course of the time going on, and during that time, you're probably just like sitting next to your dad's bed, right? And watching the like morphine and sedatives like drip down right into the IVs that he's hooked up to.
I think Go-Go just like, she's like, you know what, fuck this, and she like takes the data pad, like shoves it in her bag, and then just goes to leave. And she's looking for what she assumes can be, those stupid, like, how do I want to describe this? Like, basically the most bullshit cyberpunk bar that you can think of that freaking Boomer used to take her to, where all the dumb hackers hang out. Like, she's like, places that she just loves to avoid because she hates those people, but she's like, you know what, I just need to go to the source.
Even though she literally fits right in.
Yeah, it's like being a hipster but not wanting to claim that you're a hipster, you know what I mean? That's
Oh, sorry, you're talking about Go-Go?
Funny kid.
It was pretty funny. So, Oscar, Oha drags you into the cockpit as Go-Go like leaves in a huff, and as she does, she kind of like looks through like the little porthole in the cockpit doors, and she pulls you to like the middle of the room so that you're like, basically where your seat, where like the captain's chair is. And she sits you down, but she's turned in such a way so she can like watch the doors. And she says, well, this is an interesting predicament. Seems as though Dr. Fisher has contact with the Separatists, or is one himself, I'm not sure. The latter would make less sense in this case.
It's curious because he's never mentioned anything prior. I have no real knowledge of any long-term affiliations of his beyond the medical community. Perhaps he's not as closely linked to them as it would appear.
When I was probing Dr. Fisher for information, I discovered that his primary research was into MES, how it afflicts different physiologies.
He and I have discussed that much previously. It's not a surprise.
Possible that there might be a connection there. It's clear that you're not fully aware of the Separatists and their movement, but they are a minor religious faction. Not quite as big as the Holy Family, but certainly growing with some rapidity. They believe that MES is something to be cured in very stark contrast to the Holy Family, in which they believe it is something to be worshipped. But their methods of cleansing are not always peaceful. I was hunted for a time.
Peaceful to the individual or in general?
I was hunted for a time by one such monk on Paphos. And I can say that the only reason I escaped is because I never let him get close. Otherwise, I would surely not be here. I would either be dead or something far worse. The Buddhists believe that with their sacred rituals, they can cleanse a person of their disease, this MES. But after having done some research, after nearly dying to one of them, I found that it simply makes them not who they used to be. Not to be religious myself, but it removes a part of them. They act as though they are armatures afterwards. No different than any manufacturing bot that you can find. Their personality is stripped from them.
How is this tolerated? How have they not been punished for this?
Oscar, you know as well as I that the only factions that would punish them don't control the entire sector. And even then, without a sector-wide governing force, it's hard to breach into the religious category. There's still quite a few people who believe in the separation of the two. And as far as I am aware, most of those who are cleansed in this manner are given willingly. Parents who wish to help their children, other psychics who wish to be rid of the power that they possess.
And in your case?
I killed my captor. Therefore, I do not know if he would have captured me or killed me or what would have happened.
And why were they after you in the first place? There are psychics everywhere.
Yes, well, there are not many as strong as you and I. I believe I only suspect that they found me through the use of my power. As if they some sort of ability to detect.
Oh, I suppose we should be thankful they seem to have missed us this time around then.
Yes, indeed.
The way he asked me doesn't seem like he had any readout.
Yes, indeed.
Perhaps that was some sort of perverse formality on his part, though.
It is possible. I have not interacted with many. In fact, only one. But from what I know, they are to be avoided. Perhaps we should talk about what we're going to do about Dr. Fisher.
If what you say is true, I have some questions to ask him.
And I as well. So it's probably like at that exact moment that Fortune, you've been looking around the ship for Oscar, and you just like kick in the cockpit door and see the two of them like sitting there on the captain's bench.
I sold my guns.
Actually, he's probably not even like
It's
that.
the I've got good news and I've got bad news.
It's more like Oscar, you got I need a minute. You got a minute? Can we go? I need to talk to you about some stuff and things.
Yeah, Fortune. And he just looks to Oha and he said, he says nothing. However, the puff of pheromones indicating restrain Fisher if he attempts to leave the ship just drift off.
Yeah, and you get the assurance puff back, like, don't worry, I'm already on it.
The wink wink nudge nudge puff.
Yeah. She cracks her carapace knuckles and like walks off.
Okay.
Fortune sneezes. No big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you...
He goes off with, whatever. Oh, kitties. Yes, Fortune. What? How did your meeting go? Will we be supplying weapons?
Good and unexpectedly good.
Oha's the mind reader. Just say what is on your...
Well, I met with a Mr. Lloyd. He has a task for you.
Does he now? Who is this?
He is, and he said, hold on 1 minute. My mouse isn't working. Woo. He said that he is a co-workers of Natalia and Rudolph.
Really?
Yes. He said they work together.
Did he tell you anything of their precise relationship?
Not precise, but I can guess pretty well that he has the same stuff you do with the moving shit with your mind stuff.
I think Oscar kind of like puts his hand to the side of his head and he like rubs his temple a little bit. He's like, okay. Fortune, did you get the sense that he was a superior or a colleague? It's important.
To who?
To Rudolph and Natalia.
Definitely not a superior. He said they work together, not they work for him. So they're like on the same level.
It's curious to me why he would meet with you in person when Natalia and Rudolph both have means to contact me directly then. What else did he say?
He said that he is trying to make allies for Westwind with different people. One of them being the Freedom Alliance. Freedom Council?
Yeah, I think Oscar actually says Council, Fortune, Freedom Council. But never mind that. Last I spoke with anyone from that organization, they had considerable skepticism toward my involvement.
Well,
I know
when was the last time you talked to him?
You were there some time ago.
Yeah, I think things have changed. Mostly Kuchera.
Either we have proved ourselves somehow, or they're getting desperate.
The way he was talking, it might have been a bit of both.
What am I to do then?
I think because he didn't really say, he just said he's trying to make allies. So I think he wants to get the Freedom Alliance more involved with the war that's going on with the Tan.
Say it. Say it, Oscar.
He lets that one go.
Damn it.
Fortune may be doing it on purpose now.
Yeah, that's what he figured.
Yeah, and just to be clear, he wants you to convince them to enter into the war of their own volition. That was very clear. Like
like in official terms.
Yeah,
but I'm just
he can't be seen involving, like, asking them for help, basically.
Mm-hmm. Says it's somewhat concerning to me that he knows the moves that Natalia and I are making toward this being a reasonable question for him to ask of us, but we've not been quiet about it per se.
Well, he knew a lot more. Like, he knew us and where we've been and what we've been doing, so I didn't really care for that much.
I see.
But I did find out that him, Natalia, and Rudolph are working together to find or have a sect or something with people, like with your power stuff, that want peace. That's what he told me. They also said they're interested in you. They said you're becoming, what was his words? I don't know, something like more powerful, something. So they're more interested now because you're doing stuff and things. You're making progress.
We should do a sweep of the ship for bugs. Beside that, am I meant to contact him?
No.
I'm all for having allies,
like,
if we can vet this, but
yeah, that's the only thing I didn't really understand is he didn't really tell me why he had to be so secretive. He was just being super secretive. But pretty much he just wanted
who he says he is, you know.
Yeah, but he wanted you to contact the Freedom Association and then let me know, and then I'll let him know, kind of thing. But even I'm not letting him know. I'm letting someone else know who's letting him know, maybe. I don't know. It's a big game of telephone.
I see that. Who is your direct contact then, if not him?
I'll be meeting with General
Miskovich.
Yeah, General Miskovich, who's the one I did the weapons contract with today.
Could you pass me his details?
I don't see why not.
Don't worry, I won't try to undercut you on your current stock or anything.
Cool. But also, I did make a contract with Westwind for my rifles, so that's good.
Yes, that's what I was referring to.
Also,
I assumed based on your mood had gone well.
Yeah, I got a lot to think about. I just got filled in on a lot of information that I was unaware of before. Which most of it I just passed to you, mostly about Natalia and all that stuff. So.
Thank you. It does sound like you've had a busy afternoon.
Yeah. do you know where Gogo? That's yeah. Do you know where Gogo is?
That is a perfect segue to take our break as we see Gogo like collar popped, getting ready to.
She's super decked out.
Yeah,
Like
you've got like
punk rock as you can get at the moment.
You've got fingerless gloves on, like the whole deal. You found a choker somewhere.
She's freaking faux hawked somehow. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You've got a like it's a choker that displays holograms, like a little bit out from your neck. It's super cyberpunk.
She's just freaking ripped the sleeves off of her shirt.
Yeah.
So she's just got her tattoo glowing. It's great.
Right as we see her walk into the bar, we take our break. Also, I assume you told Oscar the ship's getting fixed for free?
No. That wasn't something he considered important to let Oscar know.
Okay, good. All right. So
Oscar will be inquiring about pay very shortly.
Oh, don't worry. The other part of the scene is we see a Tan official disembarking from a ship and heading towards yours.
Yay, money!
So that's the next part here. But why don't we take a break till 20 after? Sound good to everybody?
Okay.
Yep.
Sure.
All right, we'll see everybody then.